Trying to put my hands together, but I've got my smoothie in between. Hello again, and welcome back. I'm in a different location this time, as you can see. I figured I would make this one outside. It's such a beautiful day out here. Among the trees, some of man's creations, an extension of nature. This video is going to be about how to read your energy, how to read other people's energy, and not reading other people's energy. Reading other people's energy is not the point, but being able to find something beneath the words and our beliefs, our conditioning is more of the point. When you can recognize something deeper than what is given to you, you can see who and what you really are. So you see, I really want to clarify a bit here about some of the topics, some of the things I talked about in the last video, which was how to deal with negative emotions. And I talked a lot about not working on the level of the mind, the words, and working on the level of energy. You know, but what does that mean? How do you work on the level of your energy, right? How do you do this? You see, when a baby is born, he comes into the world blank. He has nothing given to him from the outside that he can use in order to interpret or use to understand words, understand, for example, this tree behind me. The word tree is basically a collective agreement between each person that speaks this specific language. We all agree and recognize that when we hear that mouth sound, t-r-e, that it describes one of these. So when a baby comes into this world, he doesn't have this structure, and he can see the world as it is without interpretation. The baby will feel. We are electric beings. We have a bioelectric energy moving, coursing through the body, around the earth, in the universe. And all of this energy is interconnected with each other, with itself, and which is all an expression of the one. So when you're working on the level of the mind, you're only in words. When I say the mind, I'm speaking of the words we use and the interpretations and the understanding we have of the words, what the meanings of those words are. We're dealing in the realm of concepts, and it's only a small portion of what the reality of such a thing is. Like this tree, for example. When I say tree, do you think that the word tree can somehow give me or anyone else the deepest understanding of what this is, how this came to be, how it grows, and not just the how, but just simply its presence goes so far beyond any meaning that we can give it. It's so much more vast. If you really wanted to understand this, you'd have to go to the very beginning of creation. Do you see? Which is impossible for our mind to store and understand all of this in here. We can't possibly place all of that in this space and understand it on any meaningful level that's going to give us something we can use, to really understand our world and somehow get past a lot of our perceived problems in the world. So oftentimes when you have an issue with someone, we try to deal with it on the level of the mind. We go through the filter of our understanding of each word to try to solve a problem. So when I say the level of energy, I'm truly speaking more of a level that you cannot actually understand through the mind that has been given us through our conditioning. You can feel it. And when I say feel, I'm not saying the emotions you have that come up that are related to a belief you have about a word. You know, if someone says, pardon my language, if someone tells you to go fuck yourself, you're going to understand through those words, and what you understand those words to mean, that's an insult. So you're going to feel angry. So that feeling that comes up is again just an interpretation, or I should say is an understanding of the mind's interpretation. And on that level, either you cannot deal with problems. On that level, you can only spin the problem into so many separate parts of one simple thing. Dealing with anything on the level of energy simply dissolves all meanings you've given a certain experience, something you're experiencing right now. So good. A little bit of orange juice, some spirulina, and some frozen mangoes. So what happens oftentimes, we try to deal with things on the level of the mind, and we just simply get buried deeper and deeper, build a lot of resentment, another drop in the bucket again, right? And we think we have dealt with it, but really all we have done is swept it under the rug. And that's all you can ever really do when you deal with anything in your life on the level of the mind's ability to understand anything. So to go beyond the mind and to feel, and I say feel, I'm not talking about your feelings, your emotions, but to just feel naked. To feel everything around you without the interpretation of the mind. To look past, through the thoughts. To look past, through any arising in the form of an emotional reaction based on the situation. When I call this long looking. And if a person can simply stay centered, just watch what happens inside of you for a long period of time. It's going to be a different amount of time for everyone, long enough for you to get it. You're going to feel a shift where you're going to notice there's an aspect of you that's kind of separate from everything that's going on. There's an aspect of you that's just watching everything, including the words in your mind related to your situation that you're in, and the emotional response and the feelings that are generated based on your beliefs about those words. You're going to be able to watch it. And that's what I mean when I say on the level of energy. It's this, and I can't really think of a better word to use, but it's more of a feeling. You feel the totality of everything all at once, and you can see almost as though it's not really happening to you, but as though you're watching a movie, for example. That's how it feels in my experience anyways. It feels almost like the thoughts and the emotions you have are a character in a show, right? And as it goes through It's process. You wouldn't, let's say you're at the movie, for example, watching a movie, you wouldn't jump in and try to tell the character what to do, even though you might find yourself doing that while sitting down, saying something like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. But if he got in the way of that character in the movie, you would destroy the character, you would destroy the movie. The lessons he was supposed to learn from that hard experience, he wouldn't necessarily learn in an organic manner that is best for him. You see, your ego, you would be getting in the way of its natural process of learning. It's like as if you're going into a caterpillar in a cocoon, and you're like, no, I'm gonna make this better. I mean, do you think you could actually improve upon the perfection that's around us on the understanding of that was given to us? You can't. You really can't. We can't. I can't. So how to read your energy, how to read other people's energy, involves you simply looking without a reason. And in this looking, this simple looking, the thoughts that you have and the emotions you have lose their personal nature, their personal intensity, and then you can become centered. You don't become pulled into your responses. And from that centered standpoint, the problem simply dissolves. And what the magic is that when it dissolves in you, oftentimes a lot of people that are involved in the same situation you're in will feel this on an energetic level, and it can dissolve for them as well. And that is the true miracle in finding who you are. Because in you finding who you are, you can help others find who they are without a word, in a simple looking. Let me take a drink to that. Cheers. Oh my God. If you have a difficult time with spirulina, put some orange juice in there. Wow. So I'm going to cut the video there. Instagram's guidelines won't allow me to upload a video past 15 minutes. If you haven't watched my last video, it's on Facebook. You can find the link in my Instagram account. I didn't realize you couldn't post anything bigger than 15 minutes. So thank you for watching, wherever you are around the world, what time it is there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Peace.